our own American government judicial system weaponized against the people. Wow, what a coincidence. It's interesting, man. It's right out of the book, 1984 by George Orwell. Have you noticed how there's been an uptick? That is, there's been an increase in the past few months of commentators on air, online, radio personalities talking about how this world that we're living in right now is exactly what George Orwell was talking about? Well, if you haven't, or if you have, check it out. So, it's amazing that in the 21st century, out of a zillion, a bazillion, a cajillion, however many jillions equals a zillion, okay? I just say zillion because that's forever, pretty much. It's almost infinity. Out of an infinite, it's easier to say zillion than infinite, okay? Zillion is 2 syllables versus 3 syllables. Infinite. Out of a zillion books, storylines, it just so happens that George Orwell got it right. Now, heads up. So I've been conducting parallel universe research. I don't border on fringe. I don't do fringe science. I do empirical data. So I look for the actual factual information. One of the websites that I visit is Snopes.com. I just want to say, man, for the official record, fuck Snopes.com. I wanted to say that, man. You know why? Because fuck Snopes.com. It's really interesting, man, how we have a world, we live in a world currently, where you have these websites that claim to be fact checkers. Haha! Fact checkers. That's funny. Hey, man, I can start a website or maybe even a podcast where I'm checking facts. In fact, that's what I'm going to do right now. Pun intended. In fact, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to do the same shit that fucking Snopes does. You know, I've seen Snopes' liberal-leaning tendency. I've seen that. I know it. I'm an analyst. I come from a scholarly background. And I've been doing research and analysis since I was a fucking kid. Before the internet existed. Fuck Snopes.com. Fuck Snopes.com. And fuck Barack Obama too. So check this out. So, these people, they claim to somehow, some way, know the truth about all this shit that goes on, right? In the universe. They just, man, they know all this shit, and they're just able to, know, what's real and what's not. So what are they? What are they? What are they then? What are they supposed to be? The gatekeepers of reality? The gatekeepers of what is true and what is not? I mean, do you know how fucking stupid that sounds? You know? Because that is the case, is that's what they think they are. They think that they're the gatekeepers of what is true. Now imagine, and what is not. Now imagine the delight and the glee. We're the fact checkers. Imagine the fucking pieces of shits and their egos who fucking work there, or who have that responsibility in air quotes. Okay? Imagine those fucking jakes and how they're just so amused that there are stupid ass people in the world who believe the shit that they read on Snopes.com. The Snopes.com people have to be so proud of themselves and so enthralled. They're like, this is terrific, so wonderful, they believe us, they're so stupid. You can fucking say anything you want and then be like, yeah, it's the truth, because I'm a truth checker. I'm Snopes.com. Right? I've seen their shit that they have claimed is false and it was true. And I've seen the opposite. They've claimed that it was true when I know this shit was fucking false. Now, who am I? You don't have to take my word for it. You know, what the fuck do I know? I could be just like Snopes.com. You know, I might be claiming to know some shit that I don't really fucking know. So, yeah, I totally understand as an objective observer, it could be the other way around. Someone could say, Grove, how dare you claim to be some type of authoritative, person, some authoritative subject matter expert, fact checker you claim to be, okay? Fuck you, Grove. You're not really a good fact checker because you said something was true and I deemed it to be false. And something you said was false, I deemed to be true. But then I could turn around and say the same thing. Well, what the fuck makes you a fact checker? So, the point is, Snopes.com? Who the fuck is Snopes.com? What gives them the God-given right to, fact check? You know what I mean? Well, they don't have any right other than or rather they don't have any more right than anyone else. Anyone can do the same exact shit that they're doing. They don't have any more expertise than any fucking one else. No, they don't. They're not superior in their analysis, per se. I mean, what they think they're more expert? That they're greater experts than who? Than whom? Than whom, I ask? Okay? Yeah, you see the fucking point? It's all subjective. It's all a matter of opinion. So what it boils down to is their shit isn't necessarily factual. Any of it. It's an opinion of theirs. But you see, they say it's a fact. So in the math equation of it all, opinion equals fact. Fact equals opinion. But in reality, an opinion doesn't really, truly fucking mean that it's factual. But that's all their shit is. It's really just an opinion. They can say, oh, well, yeah, but you see, Grove, the thing is all of our shit is actually not opinion-based. It's all total science and therefore absolutely fucking fact. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, based on what matrix? Based on what fucking matrix? Based on what sources? Based on what references? Based on what scholarly journals and documents and writings and bodies of research and analysis? Oh, that's right. Based on all you fucking liberal Marxists, right? Those are your sources of information. Mostly, largely, chiefly, right? Because your shit at Snopes.com, supposedly it's fact-based. Yeah, fact is in your political opinion-based, liberal-leaning Marxist-type shit. That's what it is, man. So, when I go to their website and I see that shit, it's false. It's really? That's really fucking funny. You're a funny-ass fucking wannabe fact-checker organization. Yeah, fact-checker group. Fucking wannabes. Snopes.com, dude, is so flimsy. It's so fucking utter bullshit. Now, granted, there are a few things that I would say, okay, well, yeah, I'd have to say, okay, they got that, but then, yeah, this other shit is all totally fucking made up. It's all fabricated, this other shit, and they want for people to think that this is false when they know it's not, and they want for people to think this is true when they know it's fucking not. You see, that's what Snopes does, and I've caught them doing that shit. What are they supposed to be? Infallible? Is Snopes.com supposed to be infallible? I would equate Snopes.com to Wikipedia, a non-scholarly source of information. Yeah, Snopes is a scholarly. Let's just play along with Snopes for a moment. Snopes is a scholarly group of individuals in the same way that CNN employs mostly for real journalists of a scholarly background in nature. Yeah, that's about what Snopes does. Yeah, so you can put Snopes on the same footing as CNN in my motherfucking book, in my opinion, okay? Because I've caught Snopes red-handed doing the shit that they've been doing for a long time. Like when they were going to bat for Barack Obama, Hussein. Now, let's look at some information in terms of alleged time travelers caught on camera, film, tape. Oh, here, I actually have written notes. Let me go to my written notes. Bear with me. I want to give you this correct information. Let's see, what does this say? Double speak. Prevaricate. Avarice. Extreme greed. Okay, let's see. What was I talking about there? All right. Okay. All right. So I was doing research on, this woman, let's see, Garcia L. Oh, right. It's from the, it's from the annals of parapsychology, where she had, she awoke one day and she goes to her office and no one knows her. And basically, like, don't quote me on this, but just kind of loosely, without embellishing anything, the basic premise idea is that she goes to work and no one knows who the fuck she is. And she's like looking around. She's like looking for her space. And it's like someone's there in her place. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened, but pretty much. And then she's like, at some point they're like, okay, we got a crazy woman here. She claims to work here and that's her desk. Can security get her the, fuck up out of here? Like, this is just too weird. And we don't need like a nut job wacko, like, lunatic here, maniac, fucking crazy motherfucker, delusional and shit, like off the streets, like, cuckoo, Popeye, right? So they got her up out of there. So then she goes and like hires a private investigator and she explains herself. And then they get like a psychologist involved. And they do the math and they're like, all right, she's legit. This is interesting. And so she somehow entered a parallel universe and she doesn't know how it happened. All right. So that's that. So then there was the egg-shaped cars, 4 girls, Nevada. They entered a parallel universe. All right. Let me see. Allegedly, supposedly. Montreal Maroons. So, 495, the homies, I say the homies, my academic and scholarly colleagues, peers from, that is what colleagues implies, college, university. So we took a look at the alleged time traveler, the one who has the kind of like almost like triangular shaped glasses, sunglasses, and he's wearing almost kind of like, it looks almost maybe like a wool or like a tight knit woven like pullover. And the fuck is this? Declined. And so this photograph, right, from the archives, people are like, yo, this dude, he's a time traveler, this and that. So on Snopes.com, we figured it out that, based on what Snopes was saying, the jersey that he's wearing, the sports jersey, it's claimed that it's Montreal Maroons. Okay? So Montreal Maroons. This is what Snopes believes to be true. And so they go on to point to, and I'm not saying that he's a time traveler, and I'm not saying that he's not. I just want for you to analyze and evaluate, assess the information with me in the context of parallel universe time traveler research. We are trying to determine conclusively whether or not the subject photograph in question depicts an actual time traveler or motherfucking not. All right? It's not exactly rocket science. I mean, it is, if you want to apply that said analytic method tradecraft, and or you can also just kind of look at it in the way that I'm conveying and presenting, communicating to and with you now. So someone at Snopes is like, well, so here's the thing. He's wearing a Montreal Maroons jersey, and at the time, and I believe it's like 19. I don't have the Snopes fucking shit open in front of me. I could look it up. I just don't even want to look at their website. I did the other day, and I was like, fuck these people. But to remain objective, I had to read the information. I had to look at it. So I observed it, and I saw what they were saying, and they're basically saying, oh shit, that looks like maybe a car on fire over there. Hope everyone's okay. So the I've seen a lot. I mean, and I say this like hysterically, like in a like that's fucked up. Like oh man, like not a good fucking way. I've seen a lot of car fires out here on the East Coast, man, in the past like few years, man. Like shit in traffic just like melting down like the engine block. So, with like fire extinguishers and firefighters and emergency responders and like vigilant, citizens helping and assisting. So I looked at Snopes and their analysis regarding said photograph, alleged time traveler. And damn, I think that really is a fucking car on fire. So, and then, damn, that really might be a car on fire. So let's go check this out. Sorry, folks, podcasting and whatnot. And I've actually seen some traffic events here on the coast where, believe it or not, senior citizens have been stranded in the middle of traffic when a traffic collision wreck has occurred, when there has been a wreck and no one, for some reason, it's like out of some strange fucking movie where I'm like looking around and I'm like, okay, there are vehicles in front, in back, and on both sides of the senior. Her car was clearly just hit and fucking debris is everywhere. And there's another vehicle in front of her stopped and nobody has gotten out of the car. Like it's like stop frame time, like slow motion shit, like for real. Like I heard it, looked over, counted on the digital atomic clock. I'm running in that direction. Just, what humans do, man. People who, are just doing their civic duty as humans, just their selfless acts. Like, holy shit, there's a car wreck in the middle of the street right in front of me. Like, fucking 100 yards away. Dude, I gotta go and see if anyone's fucking, in need of assistance. Like if anyone is hurt. Like I just, like, you just do that shit, right? So you're sprinting, you're running, right? And you're just like, and you're thinking other people are like gonna get out of their cars and shit, right? And nobody, by the time you get there, you've done the count. Okay, you've done the math, and not one single vehicle has, stopped to get out, the person occupant and to assist. And you're just like, really? Are you fucking serious? So I'm already calling 911, and I'm already checking to determine, ascertain, surmise, find out, figure out if anyone's hurt, if anyone needs medical assistance, and to notify the authorities, because these other people, they're more interested in just getting to their motherfucking jobs to make money than they're interested in getting out of their vehicles to stop, to assist a senior woman whose car was just smashed to fucking pieces in front of them. I've seen shit like that happen. So, point is, Maroons, Montreal Maroons, time traveler, alleged. So, the way Snopes looks at it is that this figure, this subject, this man, this young man in this photo, right? He's wearing a jersey from, I believe it was, hold on, let me look it up. Was it hockey? Let's see. Or was it football? Was it rugby? Was it lacrosse? Montreal Maroons, alleged time traveler. All right, so what do we have here? It says, yeah, so hockey team, all right? That was what first came to mind because I viewed the data. I believe, yesterday or the day before. So it's still fresh in my mind, but, the Mandela effect is interesting and things change, at a moment's notice. Things are in flux. So that being said, checking my facts, fucking, Montreal Maroons. I don't even want to go back and look at what I just looked at because I don't want to read Snopes more than I fucking have to. Here's my counter argument. Here's my counterpoint. Here's my fucking point. So Snopes says, essentially, I'm paraphrasing what they said. I'm summarizing what the fuck they say. They're just like, yeah, so, like, he's wearing this jersey. It's the 1940s. People had those jerseys because that hockey team was in that, like, area at the time. And people had those glasses. And because those glasses existed, or glasses like that. And not only that, but also that camera that he had, like Kodak like says that there was like a camera like that back then or some shit like that, right? Okay. All right. So that's your assessment, Snopes. That's what you guys think and believe and you say. And so, okay, I got what you're saying. So he's not a time traveler, right? Not a fucking time traveler, according to Snopes, because Snopes knows. They know. They know if someone is a fucking time traveler. Like, they've totally seen the show series that is called Travelers. Like, they fucking know. They're like, nah, he's not a time traveler. He's not someone from like a future timeline trying to blend in with the past by wearing what the locals wear. How the fuck would Snopes know? I'm saying I get it. Okay? Just listen, hear me out. Some would say, well, Grove, come on, dude. Their argument is legit, dude. Like, arguably, like, presumably you ought to agree, Grove, like they've clearly pointed out some very true facts and points, right? Their argument is solid in my mind, right? It's valid, okay? There was a hockey team with that same logo emblazoned on said jerseys at the time down the street within some miles radius, okay? And then, of course, the glasses, there were types of glasses, even though they can't identify exactly which fucking type of glasses. But there were some types of glasses back then that looked futuristic. And also the camera that looks kind of, sort of, like, because they don't even fucking know what exact type of camera that was. But they're like, but Kodak says that there were clearly some cameras that were kind of like that one. Right? So, okay, yeah, I get it. But that doesn't mean that he's not a fucking time traveler. So, when you look at DARPA, when you look at CIA, when you look at Andrew Basajo, when you look at Project Pegasus, and I'm saying, when I say look, I'm saying like a chronovisor type look. Like, when you look at those data sets through those lenses, okay, and you consider, thus contemplate, ponder as one does, those different data points, right? CIA, NSA, DARPA, NASA, all involved in real-world time travel experiments on record, open source data. You can read the unclassified versions of what our government has experimented in terms of, in parts. That is time travel. So, I don't know if y'all have read any of the documents, files from CIA's CREST files that I've talked about. The 3 million plus documents that some people, for whatever reason, have forgotten were just published and declassified and released not too fucking long ago on this timeline. I don't know if you've taken any time to just kind of sift through and read any of the previously above top secret classified information that's available. That is millions of fucking files. Snopes is the type of fucking Jake-made outfit that wants for you to believe that time travel just ain't even fucking real, period. That's my point, is that they front like they know some shit that they don't really fucking know. Even if that dude isn't a time traveler, right? Let's assume for a moment that he's not. Snopes wants you to believe that they know shit that they don't really fucking know. That's my point. How can you be like, well, so there are jerseys in that area that look like that, and glasses that look like that, and cameras that look like that. And keep in mind, they have no idea what type of camera that is, and they have no idea what type of glasses those are. So therefore, he's not a time traveler. Well, okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but like, you don't know if he is or if he isn't. And the other thing is, that dude looks totally out of place. Like, he doesn't look like he's from that fucking time. No, he really doesn't. Now, I'm not saying that he's a time traveler. I'm a scientist. I'm conducting real, true analysis. I'm not convinced that Snopes is authoritative and that it knows how to do analysis, because it's like, no, false, he's not a time traveler. It's like, but yeah, Snopes, you haven't determined what type of camera that is, and if they existed back then, or the exact make model of the glasses either. So for you to say, no, false, he's not, it's like, you don't even know fucking 2 out of the 3 parts, you know? Okay? So, and then the other thing is, that dude looks like he's from now. That's the part that motherfuckers are missing. All glasses and like blend in, like look and like, you know, be like the, you know, like Romans when in Rome and do as the Romans do, like blend in, like camouflage, like covert, like Black Ops, like Andrew Basajo, okay? Like teleportation shit, U.S. Air Force working with Boeing to teleport animals, vegetation, objects, inanimate and animate human beings. That's right, our U.S. government has experimented with actual teleportation into different dimensions of space-time. And you can read the unclassified version of that shit. But again, like the Crest files that most humans haven't read, because they're just like, oh, I heard something, but I'm not interested in reading anything that's above top secret classified yesterday, and today it's declassified. I'd just rather go with the flow of society and, you know, be part of the status quo. Because, I mean, you know, aliens, like, you know, come on, man. There are no real aliens that we've ever, like, met yet, man. Because, you know, SETI's still looking for, like, signals and stuff. Like, yeah. Because, you know, I hang with my friends and I know so much stuff. You know, look at the way that I hold my teacup. I'm so cuth. You know? So, yeah, people who just don't want to fucking know the truth, they can be in their circles where they make up their own narratives. It's easy and comfortable for them in their little microcosm. The little bubble worlds, you know, the little bubble worlds, like little bubbles being blown in the Matrix, right? So, yeah, they're okay with that because then they're fact checkers and they can say whatever they want. Oh, Donald Trump, he colluded with the Russians, and Hillary Clinton, you know, she should be our president, you know? Because, you know, Donald Trump, he colluded with the Russians, and he's so totally guilty. And did you know that he's bigoted, and he's racist, and he's misogynist? He's all those things. Oh, and also, he's basically like the new Hitler. You know, everyone knows that. That's what everyone thinks. That's what everyone knows. That's how everyone feels. Everyone, blanket statement, broken robot, human bodies, transhuman android, you know, narrative, spoken. I mean, fuck, dude. Yeah, it's easy to just kind of live in your own bubble world universe where you're the fact checker of all fucking things and you can call yourself Snope.com. Yeah, because they probably don't know too much about the Crest files, and they probably don't know too much about like reality. At least, that's what I've observed. They don't seem to. So, but yeah, so it's really interesting, that photograph, because it just is really interesting, man. Because even if that dude isn't a time traveler, imagine the actual experiments where we have actually sent humans into other dimensions. I'll give you an example. So, let's say you're in the U.S. Air Force. Perhaps some of you are. Perhaps you're in the U.S. military, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, some other branch of the military or government that's secret, that people don't even know exists. So, your job is to have a command of sea, air, and land to the best of your human ability in relation to things that you cannot control, like Mother Nature. So outside Mother Nature and in relation to Mother Nature, your goal, your mission is to conquer the elements. Do whatever you can to take control of communications, computers, surveillance, intelligence, information, space, cyberspace, hyperspace. Gotta know what's in the ocean, man. Gotta know what's in space. You gotta know what's out here on Earth and beneath and outside, right? So, naturally, you're gonna send the best, the brightest, the strongest. You're gonna send those out as far as you can. You're gonna try to break through that barrier. Because what is a barrier? It's all subjective. It's all in one's mind, right? So, for terrestrial humanoids to believe among themselves that we haven't had soldiers and scientists be sent out into the cosmos beyond planets such as Mars and what's known within our solar system galaxy, to think that we haven't pushed that envelope. Just recruited some motherfuckers and just said, hey, look, so we created this classified program consisting of hyperspace, hyperdimensional exploration. We figured out how to use anti-gravity and electromagnetic energy, fields of energy. We can send this vessel here that's within this room, environment, space, this hangar, this airplane hangar, if you will, this air base, this pod that you see in the center of this room. We can send this pod into some type of energy field. Where it goes, we have no fucking idea. But since you signed up for the program and since you volunteered, you are a brave soul. And good luck and Godspeed. We'll probably never ever see you ever again. But nonetheless, you're doing this out of bravery and courage. And perhaps, if in the multiverse, somehow, some way, we are able to communicate again at some point, we definitely like to know what the fuck you found out from your journey, your voyage, your mission, 20 and back. Okay? So, if you think that our government, military, cannot create a vortex of energy in some type of controlled environment, that we cannot take some type of energy fields, swirl them around, spin them around, create a toroidal Toroidal, say that. Let's look it up. Toroidal. Did I say it right the first time? It's a tongue twister. It's a torus. Toroidal. There it is. Yeah.
Here's the definition of toroidal, of a resembling a torus.
Toroidal. Say that 10 times in a row. Toroidal. Okay, I don't need to say it exactly 10 times. It's a little tricky, okay? Toroidal field of energy. That's the whole key, is the spin. It's all spin. So, just being a layperson, we just have to think to ourselves, simple shit. Our government has to have the ability to take fields of energy, spin that energy into some field, toroidal field of energy, and just say like your toe, like your human toe, like toroidal, like, hemorrhoids, like toroid, toroidal. It's a tongue twister, man. Depending on what you connect before and after it. Toroidal fields of energy, that is the key. That is the key to breaking open those pathways, to breaking through into those pathways into the fabric of space. And you can see that in math. Toroidal fields of energy. Just got to kind of emphasize and stress the toroid, because then you come through with roid, like toroidal, right? Toroidal fields of energy. Key. It's a key to hyperspace. I'm not making this shit up. It's not my information. It doesn't come from me. It's what I've researched and it's what I know. If you create a toroidal field of energy in a controlled laboratory environment setting, and it's powerful enough, it's strong enough, it has enough strength and spin, that is, and magnetic energy flux, you can literally toss objects into it and it disappears into what appears to be nothingness. That's real shit. And that's what the Nazis were doing with Die Glocke, Nazi Bell. Now, your terrestrial government probably doesn't want for you to know that shit. That's why you weren't taught that in junior high school, elementary school, high school, and college, unless you figured it out on your own. That's what our U.S. military has done as well. That is exactly what the U.S. Air Force teleportation project has been in relation to its work with Boeing. Because Boeing has been involved with the U.S. Air Force in said projects, and you can read about that information in an unclassified format document file. The same as you can read the CREST files. The CIA motherfucking CREST files. Millions of them. Okay? Man, you can read about Project Serpo. You can read about human beings that were recruited to go to other fucking star systems. You can read about off-world scientists. I said off-world scientists. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know that our military pushes the limits of reality. If we can send classified spacecraft as far out as we can before that shit stalls and seizes up, we're going to send another craft beyond that craft and another craft beyond that craft. And we're going to put humans and vegetation and objects and all kinds of shit in those crafts to see how far we can keep pushing out. That's what the fuck we do. That's what our government does. Okay? So you should already know that when it comes to energy fields of energy, somewhere, someplace on this planet, in space, we've conducted experiments with toroidal fields of energy, the torus, the spin, and just sent objects and humans and things into that shit. Do we know where it goes? Maybe sometimes, because maybe it reappears or re-images somewhere. And we're like, holy shit, you're back. And then, of course, you have to take those humans, vegetation, objects, contain them in some type of containment unit, and debrief, right? Like, you know, because this set of data, these humans, animals, objects, vegetation have traveled through hyperspace. Is it the same data set, or is it another data set coming back into our world, appearing to be that first data set, but it's some imposter data set because it's from a divergent timeline and shit got transposed and like shifted around? Are they the same people? Are they the same animals? Are they the same objects? Do they look almost the same, but they're just off by one tick? I mean, come on, man. Come on. Yeah, I'm talking about Stargate. Yes, I'm talking about the TV show Stargate. Yes, I'm talking about SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis. Yes, I am. And I'm also talking about how that shit is based on reality and how that shit came after reality. Okay? You know the horse and the cart? The horse came fucking first, right? Because it's a biological entity born of this world, this planet. It came from the earth. It's a horse. Carts didn't exist before fucking horses did, right? So why would you put the cart before the horse? You see what I'm saying? So, right. So the real Stargate is the horse. The TV show is the cart, as in like cartoon, okay? The real shit already has been happening in real fucking life. The TV show is the government working with Hollywood to desensitize you, to acclimate you, to warm you up to the notion of what we've been doing for a very long time, all under the auspices, all under the guise of it being pure fucking fantasy and science fiction. Come on, man. Come on, man. What do you know about Planet Serpo, Project Serpo? What do you know about that star system? What do you know about Zeta 4? What do you know about Gravity A, Gravity B, Bob Lazar, Element 115, Moscovium, Anti-Gravity? Come on, man. I've been sharing this intel with y'all for a long ass time, man. You should already know there are scientists, soldiers, people, human beings who have risked their lives to be put into the fold just to see what the fuck is out there. Prisoners, average everyday folk in the community. Man, you can read the story about where they put the letter. They came knocking on the door because she signed up for something in the the newspaper in the classified section. She thought it was some other shit. And they picked her and others, and they came to the house and they knocked on the door. And when she looked out the window, they put a sign up and they said, if you have relatives and others in the home with you, roommates, if you can read this, don't say anything to anyone. We're with the U.S. government, basically FBI, Department of Defense, whatever. If you can read this, if you can see this, do not say anything to anyone in that home. This is meant for you and you only. Shh, come on, man. Shh, come on, man.